Bloating can be a real problem on a vegan diet. I myself saw this firsthand when I first went plant-based. I went from feeling light and lean and energized to feeling bloated and sluggish in just a few months of doing plant-based the wrong way. And that's where I learned how to overcome bloating. Plus, I've now coached over 1,000 vegans and helped them overcome bloating and lose weight and gain muscle. I know a thing or two about bloating, and I want to help you in this video to overcome it yourself if you're struggling with it. And don't worry, it's not going to be the typical advice of, hey, just wait till it's over, just rinse your beans and just add turmeric to your meals. This is not what's going to happen in this video because it's not going to work. I mean, I've tried all the things, and my clients too, and it didn't work for them. But so we found what actually matters to get rid of bloating. When I go back to when I first went plant-based, I was eating all the meals, all the foods that people told me to do, right? All the vegan doctors and vegan influencers told me to eat all these high bean and high legume based meals, a lot of veggies, eat as much fruit as you want. It's healthy for you. The more fruit you eat, the better. And this is how I looked. This was my look just after a few months of being plant-based. I went from being a fit omnivore to being a skinny, fat vegan. I was about to quit the vegan lifestyle because of that. But fortunately, I got a coach myself, I researched a ton, and now I figured out how to make it work on a plant-based diet, how to be a fit and healthy vegan every single day. So, how do you get rid of bloating? Quick and simple answer, you reduce your daily fiber intake. Chances are you consume some of the vegan content and people say, hey, you gotta eat enough fiber. Fiber is super healthy for your gut, it's important for your health, and I agree, fiber is super crucial for your health and you should definitely get your fiber in to feed your gut and to have a healthy immune system and also have a healthy brain and gut connection. All of these things definitely matter. However, a lot of vegans are overshooting their fiber because they're following this advice, even though it's not really made for them. So a lot of vegan doctors say, hey, eat more fiber to the normal person who's eating a standard American diet, which is basically French fries and Coca-Cola. Like those people definitely need more fiber. But you as a vegan person, you don't need more. You already have a very big baseline of fiber because you're already plant-based. So if you're watching this right now and want to get rid of bloating, then cut down your fiber intake to 15 to 20 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories you consume. Which, yes, you gotta track your food to find that out. For a normal diet, a normal person, it will be between 30 to maybe 50 grams of fiber every single day. If you stay in this range, you're gonna get the benefits of fiber, which there's a lot of them, but also you're not gonna get the downsides of feeling bloated, feeling gassy, and just not feeling well, right? And again, we've done this with thousands of clients by now, and they usually get rid of the bloating within a few days in our program, just as an example. So you might be watching this and be like, hey Fritz, this is great, but how do I actually lower my fiber? Let me explain. It's pretty easy actually. I wanna break it down into 5 simple tips how you can lower your fiber intake. The first tip is switching off your fiber filter, which you just got from all the vegan advice you see online. Hey, look out for more high fiber sources. All of that, like, turn it off. You're already hitting your fiber. You don't need to look for more. So if you see like high fiber cereal bars or high fiber mueslis, whatever it might be, you don't need to buy these foods because you're already getting enough fiber. So switch off your fiber filter and switch on your protein filter, for example. So this is just something to think about when it comes to getting healthy and seeing results on your journey. A lot of things happen in your mind, right? Obviously you have all the tactics, but you also gotta change your way of thinking to be successful on your fitness journey. The second tip I have for you, which is super simple and super powerful tip, is to switch out your protein sources from beans and legumes and nuts and seeds to low fiber vegan protein sources such as tofu, tempeh, seitan and protein powder, which are low fiber, which don't make them bad. They're actually the best sources for you. And a lot of people overshoot their fiber because they don't use these foods because they are processed. Doesn't mean it's bad. A lot of vegans have this misconception and they are scared of processed foods and it's holding them back. Obviously, most of your diet should be based on whole foods, but using processed foods strategically to hit your protein or to curb your cravings will be super helpful. And that's how I built my body, it's how my clients build their body. Processed foods will help you keep your fiber low. Now, you don't want to cut out legumes and beans completely because again, they're super healthy for you. So instead of using them as a protein source in your meals, use them as a carb source. So if you look at your plate, it could be maybe one portion of tofu to get your protein, then one portion of veggies to get your micronutrients in and to get volume in the meal, then maybe a portion of lentils as a carb source. So you don't need to use rice or potatoes, you can use lentils. And since they have some protein, it's gonna boost the protein intake of your meal just by being on the side, okay? So switch your focus from beans and legumes being a protein source to them being a carb source, and your meals are gonna be much more efficient. Also, if you want to lower your fiber, don't necessarily cut out veggies and fruit. Those are the two most important food groups to be healthy, right? To get all your micronutrients in. I recommend having at least 4 servings of each every single day. So it's not about cutting out the broccoli and cutting out the bananas necessarily. It's about cutting out like whole grain stuff. For example, instead of having whole grain rice, brown rice, have white rice or basmati rice. Instead of having whole grain bread or whole grain toast, have white toast. Instead of having whole grain pasta, maybe have white pasta. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You're like, I always got taught something different. And yes, I understand, right? That's totally okay. But if you keep having these whole grain versions, whole grain options in your meals, your fiber is going to be just overshot like crazy and you'll never be able to lower it. So make these switches as well, and that's going to lower your fiber intake pretty easily. And also, if we're honest, like most of the time the white options are pretty tasty as well and much tastier than the whole grain option. You also don't want to forget that a lot of the whole grain and organic and natural products you see in your grocery store, most of them are also put in this light because of marketing, because nowadays natural, unprocessed, whole just sells better than the normal version, right? So you always want to go in the grocery store thinking, probably this brand wants me to buy this product, and you don't want to believe everything they put on the package. Also make sure to not buy or eat these high fiber processed foods such as cereal bars, cereals, a lot of things that have high fiber as marketing at the front are ultra processed foods, and also this type of fiber is going to be digested even worse than fiber from veggies and fruit and from whole grains, right? So definitely avoid buying these foods as well to make sure your fiber is low. So once you understand that you keep your fiber low to 15 to 20 grams per 1,000 calories, you'll be able to get rid of bloating, gas, and run to the toilet like 5 times a day, once and for all. Just to give you another example, I can run you through one of my vegan full day of eatings, how I can keep my fiber low and still get my protein and still be on track with my fitness goals. So usually for breakfast, I like to keep it kind of low in fiber, but not too low. So what I have for breakfast is a smoothie with some frozen berries, some mixed veggies, protein powder, and peanut butter, and just water. Okay, a lot of people start with like having oatmeal, having fruit, and having all these high fiber foods. Obviously fruit and veggies have fiber, but not as much as these grains, right? So I like to start with a smoothie. For lunch, usually I like to keep it light, just having a bit of tofu with some salad and maybe some beans, which yes, have fiber, but I don't use it as a protein source. I use my tofu as a protein source, right? And then for snack, I just have a protein shake most of the time, right? Maybe with some nuts here and there. And then for dinner, I like to keep it light as well with having some white rice with maybe seitan and maybe some veggies as well. So you see white rice and seitan, almost no fiber, and veggies have a little bit. So you see I have beans only once a day pretty much to get the health benefits, but to not overshoot my fiber. And I focus on low fiber protein sources that I mentioned before as well. But I don't neglect my veggies and fruit. Super important still, do not neglect it. Have 4 servings of each. That way you get the health benefits without the bloating. When I finally figured all of this out, I was able to get rid of my bloating in just a few days, and it made me feel so much better. I was finally representing the vegan lifestyle like I wanted to. I was not this bloated and gassy vegan running around. I had to run to the toilet 5 times a day. I finally felt like I was getting my fiber so I can feed my gut and be healthy, but also not too much so I can feel like a normal human being, feel lean, feel toned, and feel light every single day.